I mean, they've been rising and rising, not even just in terms of matchups, but in terms of players. We've seen people like Tilde making insane moves. I think in the Netherlands, there's like Skipper and Elite Tweet, but regardless, there are like a lot of insane Valkyrie players out there, Azalea being one of them. So
Yeah.
let's see if Azalea can show us what they're made of.
Yeah, as we go into game one on a small battlefield between Azalea and Gaia. And we did already see first block got placed down. Azalea instantly down tilted it. So I think that might be the answer that Azalea has for those blocks. But Dirt obviously very different to some of the other blocks we can get. But already 65%. Where on earth did that percent come from, Scores?
Well, I blinked and that immediately happened, but Falco's going to answer right back with 64. Oh, it's terrifying. That's the funny thing with these kind of, what I'm going to call Luigi archetype matchups, where they hit you and you die. We have Minecraft Luigi on the screen against Bird Luigi. And it doesn't matter how much damage they take, because they're going to hit you for just as much damage when they hit you right back. So ultimately it becomes a question of who's going to kill the other first. Oh my god, the up tilt on the anvil.
I didn't know you could just stand on anvil on the way down and just keep up tilting.
Treating Anvil like an elevator and be like, oh, you're going down? Don't worry, mind if I join you?
Such a Looney Tunes character, you're so right. But yeah, that down tilt does seem to be the answer that Azalea has to those blocks. Side B into their back air, very nice confirm, taking the first stock out of Azalea. That's a confirm that Azalea specifically, I know, loves a lot. See that more out of Azalea than I do out of any other Falco. What is this whole house that we're building right here?
Literally putting the house on him. In the middle of our house right there, but right there in his own territory, guys, like, you know what? I'm going to activate home security. Anvil, go. Get him now. And 57% on deck right now, but that's just one Falco combo. One neutral opening. So can Azalea get it? Can Azalea exploit Bird Luigi to answer back against Block Luigi? Minecraft Luigi, if you will.
I'm not sure how far this Luigi and Aleki's going to go before we get confused. At least I'm going to get confused. But yeah, you're right. It is just one or two combos in this position. One up tilt into a drag down fair combo. That's an up throw instead. Tries to get the drag down there. Not managing to connect just that. Hasn't actually managed to get more than one or two piece combos going here from Azalea. I don't know if that's just the starters haven't been ideal or the SDI or DI has been good. That Minecraft not quite managing to kill though, and if you don't kill a Falco, you could be in a very scary situation because, as you say, does have a lot of those combos. As we saw, the Flame One reflected the Minecraft, but it isn't going to matter because back air is going to take the stock, and it is a very, very large lead coming out of Gaia in this position.
Indeed, indeed. Using the minecart to bait a reflect and immediately punishing. I'm liking the awareness from Gaia at the moment, and ultimately the onus right now is on Azalea to find an answer, because Gaia is definitely throwing out the pop quiz right now. Quick, what is your answer to being hit against the blocks? What is your answer to minecart? And what's your answer to me?
And that is something that shows experience from Gaia, in my opinion, because Falco's reflector can feel very, very punishing and very oppressive until you realize it's actually really laggy. It's frame one, but actually you can punish it on landing on lag quite easily.
It is indeed a commitment, and that is not what you want against Steve, because while it may reflect, as you say, the last thing you want against Steve is to commit, because if you commit against any Luigi archetype, but Steve specifically, you explode. And it appears that Azalea is able to live another day, but we're very close to the Mount Vesuvius explosion point right now. So, can Azalea find their way back into this before Vesuvius erupts?
Azalea seems to have been struggling on finding ways in here. That down tilt is going to send a long way up, but not quite going to kill yet. Azalea just fishing for that up tilt.
Ooh, that had to be an F smash. I think down tilt to try and kill off the top, maybe worrying that the F smash would kill off the side, but guys, like, you know what? If you could F smash me there, I'll show you how it's done. Boom, immediately sending them straight to the horizontal boss zone. So
yeah, it seems like a mistake not knowing whether down tilt would kill in that position. I think with being staled as well, not quite the correct option to go for.
Maybe up smash would have been better. Who knows?
Falco up smash, you can fall out of it though. It's not the most consistent move. So I think you're right on the F smash, but so some Falco players just don't have confidence in their smash attacks because they aren't the strongest or most consistent moves you can have.
Indeed. But still, it's going to be interesting to see how both players adapt from this. I believe Azalea had the right idea at first. They were taking their time a little bit, and ultimately they were able to go blow for blow with Steve. But you never really, I feel like not many characters want to go blow for blow with Steve. No. Even if you are Falco, right? Most of your most damaging combo will usually be 80. You won't really have 0 to deaths unless you're against super heavies. But Steve has many 0 to deaths. They're very terrifying. So if you go blow for blow, eventually it's going to seem to be not in your favor. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, and for the player you said has never lost to a UK Steve, it felt like Azalea, or looked like Azalea, was struggling to work something out about getting in against specifically this Steve. So we'll have to see if Azalea can adapt in this game too, as we run it back onto SBF Scores.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Ultimately, SBF is also a pretty interesting counter pick. I think it's pretty good with Falco, but also it allows Steve to do the TNT on the platform ledge trap. So ultimately, I know a lot of players aren't a big fan of it. I think it's a very neutral stage, but that is one of the many caveats that SBF allows.
I think against Steve, there are certain must bans, and this one doesn't class as a must ban, so it's probably a likely one you'll end up at. Oh, the minecart going to grab into the up smash, and that is going to take an early burst stock, 45 seconds in. Gaia only sitting on 65%. Again, Azalea seems to be struggling. Up tilt is going to come out and just doesn't find a connection off it. This doesn't feel like the Azalea I'm used to seeing, who gets a lot of percent after each combo. Feels like we're getting one combo starter and nothing to follow up scores. What is going on right now?
It seems they're a little bit shaken almost, like not having as much confidence. You mentioned with the smash attacks, but also in their conversion game. At the same time, we're seeing immaculate DI from Gaia. I'm seeing very few of the lasers land after Azalea's getting these grabs, so these high damaging conversions that they usually get, they're unable to find. In general, though, they're not taking their time enough. They're trying to swing into Steve a little bit too much when they need to be waiting, as in these scenarios where they can.
Yeah, anytime I see a Falco kind of throwing those side Bs a bit randomly.
But as we say, waiting, immediately being like, you know what, let me get out my math sheet and calculate the Pythagoras theorem needed to send you straight to heaven. Goodness, Aristotle would be proud. God damn!
All right, Azalea, I'll stop talking. I apologize. Yeah. Up tilt, second up tilt, up air. Nair drag down.
I think we're trying to drag down onto the block as well. This awareness is immaculate right now. And honestly, almost bringing this back, all you need is 2 more neutral wins. But
all Gaia needs an up smash.
Exactly. When you have that kind of like vision, when you have that tunnel vision almost, it can allow the opponent to seize that opening. But we're seeing a double parry.
Still gets punished for it.
Exactly.
It just feels so bad to watch.
I think, I believe Diamond is either -1 or Diamond up tilt is either -1 or +1.
Yep.
One of those two. But either way, that translates to very, very safe. And that makes it quite hard to deal with.
Azalea hitting the side B, not managing to connect into it though. Down there, not connecting either. Just the patience doesn't seem to be there. But again, finds the up air into the back end, not going to quite manage to kill just yet. Minecart is going to get Gaia out of disadvantage in this position. Azalea kind of just fishing again, trying to find this kill move, but it's the S smash through a block that Gaia's going to get instead. And now what's Azalea option?
The house is built on them.
Oh,
kill? Oh, no, quite. What is going on? This is the House of Chaos right here, but unfortunately, Steve is Chaos incarnate. If you try to fight him with Chaos, he'll be like, you know what? I got a bunch of my goofy buddies behind me, and they will destroy you.
Gaia just invited Azalea into the clown house, and what are you doing about this?
Literally invited Azalea into the Mickey Mouse clubhouse, and Goofy was right there with the anvil straight to send them out, bro. Oh my God. But still, I think ultimately, we mentioned patience. We've talked about patience a lot throughout this. And we mentioned that Azalea needs to take their time a little bit more because they're trying to, they're almost trying to force the Falco game plan on Steve. But Steve forces their game plan probably the best in the game. They have a very, very, very strong one.
There is a reason people say this character is the best in the game, because he does just force his game plan onto everyone else in the cast. Indeed.
But one more way that Azalea needs to be patient is with their conversions. I believe they're rushing the follow-ups ever so slightly, and that means that these usual high damaging conversions they're getting, they're rushing a little bit. And that little bit of time mishap is preventing them from getting what they usually do. Ooh, the down smash air dodge, allowing for 57% on deck. We're seeing the impatience once again.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing Falco combos do 40, 50%, kind of like that one right there.
Yeah, like that one right there.
I feel like that's one of the first we've seen this set doing the full combo. Tries to find the back throw into the block, but not managing to find the right angle right there. It is a Gaia. But Gaia still managed to take the lead, even after a nice combo. 80% onto this Falco already. Gets the down air, but then seems to immediately go for an option.
Ooh, is that going to take it? That will. That's what I'm talking about, Azalea. That slight little bit of patience, the wait before the grab as well, not to mess it up. And suddenly, that's the Azalea we're used to seeing. That's the Azalea we know and love. But oh my God. I have no time to speak. Down air into air smash? What?
I was some crest the eye, though.
Oh my God. Gaia answering right back.
That was also the first up throw that Gaia didn't DI properly, though, so did get hit by the laser, which did make a big difference in that first stock.
Indeed, indeed. I believe it's really difficult, if not impossible, to at low percents. But at the same time, Azalea's patience is definitely improved to allow him to land these conversions, I believe.
But still at a deficit is actually entirely wrong. Is that just a dead? That's just a dead, isn't it, man?
Once again, the patience, as I mentioned, immediately dashing back, saying like, oh, I see you're trying to recover a little bit too high, my friends. Let me send you back down there think about what you've done.
Yeah, and using the block to his advantage in that situation. The Flame is going to keep Azalea out at this point, but this is the first game Azalea's really had any lead to speak of, and it's now Gaia's job to kind of close the distance and make it up. But Azalea's saying, well, actually, I'm the one that's going to close the distance. I'm not going to give you any room. I'm going to hit up air fair on you, and you're going to be right off stage. What is your option? How are you getting back? Girls managed to find the up B just to knock Azalea out of whatever he was trying to set up. Right there, scores.
Indeed, indeed. And honestly, we're seeing Azalea run away from it. They're absolutely harassing Gaia, and as a result, Gaia doesn't really have the time to get the gold minecarts. But as I say that, immediately Azalea's like, you know what? You can get how many resources you want. I'm going to punish you for every commitment regardless. And that's exactly what they did. Could this be the start of a reverse 3-0, Emma?
It could be. It could be. That was a very convincing game out of Azalea. Much better conversions, much better patience, much better punishes, noticing what was happening, going, I know the right punish. Like we saw in game 2, where they punished incorrectly with that down tilt. This time, they punished correctly with the up smash.
Exactly.
And that feels like a big difference between the first 2 games and that game 3.
I think ultimately that is what allows... We've talked about patience, but I think that is a big thing about what separates different levels of play, and also what allows players... I mean, we see it with Bloom a lot, but in general, the patience to watch the situation, analyze the situation, and be like, what is my best follow-up from a combo here? What is my best punish in this situation? How can I get rid of the stock now? How can I click my fingers and summon the stock-taking guards to drag them into the Blossom? And that's exactly what we saw Azalea do right here. That's the Azalea we know and love, and I'm happy to see it. So the question is, where's Gaia's answer?
Probably just to keep dialing up the Steve tech as much as possible. If the Steve tech doesn't work, you just throw more anvils and more minecarts at someone.
Exactly.
One of them will work eventually.
One of them will land, and then when they do, boom, immediately gone. But we're seeing we're seeing some very tricky setups from Gaia. So it's a question of, can he dial up the tone? Can we get some more Scrimlo Bimblo? Will Mickey Mouse himself descend from the heavens and craft his own clubhouse around Azalea once again? I
think the interesting thing is actually, though, that we haven't actually seen many of those, you know. You were speaking about the game before the game, say this quickly, it's the jabs from one side of the stage to the other. We've not seen that yet, and I think that's something that we could be looking to see. But I have to stop talking about that right now because Azalea is starting to cook. Another up tilt, up air, tries to find the conversion. But yeah, as you say, 87% already scores. Trying to use that TNT in some funky way right there, but not managing to connect. And really just trying to earn this stock as soon as possible. It's the up B punished, up air coming out. What does Azalea have? And it is actually just going to get broken out of by Gaia. And the up tilt combos do start here now. Scores. Can Gaia bring this back into an even game?
Indeed, indeed. Azalea's had some really good moments at the start, but ultimately they're trying to get in a little bit too much right now. That said, the moments where they're kind of like, you know, they're weaving a little bit around the Steve general threat range. And by avoiding landing directly on top of Steve, it allows them to get these decisive hits. Still, though, it's a little bit dice rolly, and it's working out at the moment. The slot machines are very much favoring Azalea, but in the long run, how will this pan out?
I mean, you're saying it's working out right now, but actually, they're both a kill percent.
True.
It's that even though Azalea was getting a lot of hits out there was a lot of trades coming out, but that down to it's actually going to take the first stock right there. Azalea with another lead in this game 4.
You can only rely on the slot machines for so long, and ultimately, it appears that Gaia's finding their way back into it at the moment. The kill was still there, but still 109%. Anything works from Steve. So the question is, will Azalea keep relying on the slot machines? Or we're seeing a lot more patience now, which I like to see.
I think the main thing I'm noticing is that, as we see a combo get started by Azalea right here, is the movement feels like it's a lot crisper from Azalea. It's a lot more, you know, mixing up. It's not quite as committal and one-dimensional. But that minecart is going to even out the stocks, but not the percent. 65%, 75%. Goes for the down air. Can we find anything else out of this?
Oh my god. It keeps going. Opting for the up tilt forward air. I guess not trying to stay or up tilt back air, but still. So many kill options in this situation, but Gaia is still forcing their way through. Playing patient, waiting for Azalea to commit first and be like, you know what? Unless you pressure me, I'm just going to build. I'm just going to build and I'm going to mine. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I think Azalea just knowing that percent wasn't quite right for the up tilt back air, so you don't try and go for it if it's not true because you can just get hit out of it by a Steve. And that up air is actually going to hit out of the minecart. I did say at the start of the set about how Falco can just meet you up there if you're going to steal with that minecart. And that is exactly what we saw Azalea do. Went all the way up there, hit the up air and just takes a nice stock and takes a pretty nice lead here. Only 6% on himself right there. Finds the drag down there, up tilt, up air, and there drag down. What else can Azalea get going? Goes to the up tilt but doesn't manage to find it. Another there hits, goes for the up air. Fair is managed managing to hit.
The pressure is on right now. 66% and the stock leads. Gaia's been, unable to find an answer, unable to get the space they need to get resources because they have none. There's a singular dirt block to this man's name, and ultimately he needs a little bit more. These gold minecarts are what makes Steve broken, the anvils. So definitely need to inherit that from some sort of will. And oh my god, what the hell?
The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was back for a second there, Scores, but this time it didn't manage to do anything too great. The down air is going to hit, up air going to hit as well. Not managing to actually find the kill move right there, but that back air is going to take it, and it is game 4.
Positioning immaculate, execution immaculate, awareness perfect in that exact scenario, and that allowed them to capitalize.
And Scores, who is this Azalea? Because this is not the Azalea from game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, this is a different
player.
What
happened to Azalea?
What happened to Azalea?
Did we see someone switch to Azalea?
I think Azalea kind of let someone else play with their pro controller at first, and now they're actually
I think there was someone in the crowd with a different pro controller connected. Because this is definitely Azalea.
This is definitely a different player in front of me right now. This is not the player I saw in game 1 and game 2. So, will this player stick around for game 5?
I do like the fist bump before game 5. I do like that.
It's a mutual sign of respect between both competitors being like, you know what? Let's go all out. Let's give it the best we got. And that's what we're seeing right here.
And I really want to see the best that both of these players have to offer. But Gaia taking a while, making sure the right skin is picked for this game, and that is important.
I think Alex is the Gaia skin right there. That's the classic tried and true. So remaining true to yourself as you go into the final game.
And Tennessee is going to be our pick for game 5, Scores. What do you think of the stage between these two players?
I think it's actually not super great for Steve. I mean, you still get pretty decent resources, but the most common resource you get is woods. And that means that your walls are weaker in comparison to the other stages and are easier to break down. But to be fair, at the same time, I don't really think Azalea was giving Gaia the space to set up walls anyway. Whether this ultimately leads to a weaker defense or not, when Azalea's offense is so strong, is yet to be seen.
Yeah, Azalea seems to be taking the option of just get over the wall instead of actually, trying to break it down. Oh, this is a very nice combo getting started here. Up throw, up air. Going to come out as well right there. Azalea, you're going to catch the landing. No, the minecart is going to come out of disadvantage there for Gaia to get himself out of that situation. Azalea, what have you got? Drag down there. It's not much to hit, but it is the up tilt. It's the back air that is managed to take it. Azalea taking the first stock of this game 5, Scores.
Indeed, indeed. Gaia was in the heavens, and yet Azalea still managed to relocate themselves back up there, and they're running away with it. It does not matter the quality of the wall, because right now, Gaia's not getting to build anything. Azalea's running away with this right now. The pressure does not stop.
Yeah,
and the misinput from Gaia. The pressure definitely getting towards them. Azalea just unrelenting at the moment. But SDs happen no matter when, no matter where. The difference in competitors is what will that do to you? Can you move on? Can you move forwards? And bring it back?
And you're saying that, the importance of building a wall is some good foundations. You know where there's no foundation, Scores, and that's off the stage. Azalea is not giving Gaia any space right now. Another up tilt's going to hit down there. Up tilt not managing to quite connect, but already a lot of percent on there. 79 down, another there, up tilt into another try for up air, but not managing to connect. Up air coming out again. Oh, goes for the up smash, not managing to connect, and the F smash is going to punish that, Scores.
And still catching the recovery back to stage. I believe that up smash got extended by the minecart and become 10 times more laggy. But right now, I think Azalea's getting a little bit too carried away, using the slot machines once again to try and scramble to victory. But that's exactly where Steve thrives in. 56% on tech. If there's any way Steve makes a comeback, it's right now. But still, Gaia in a precarious situation. What is their answer? The platform is running away. How do they get back?
Oh, it looks like they're going to struggle to get back at this point. And to be honest, I don't blame Azalea to rolling the slot machine when you're this far ahead. But goes for the up tilt back and not managing to connect. That's Falco's like, that's my combo, Steve. What are you trying to do?
Oh, that diamond F smash is going to take it. And that slot machine is going to pay off in Gaia's favor. Can Azalea close it out? Diamond is on deck. All you need is one jab, one up tilt to seal it out. So what will Azalea do? Reflecting the minecart straight back. I can't catch my breath right now. There's too much going on.
And it's going to be just the raw fair on stage. I think
Azalea takes it. Azalea pops off.
I believe that is top 8 for Azalea. I think that's why we're getting such an important pop-off.
Indeed, indeed. And a hug from both competitors. I had no time to catch my breath from the sheer amount of pressure Azalea was mounting. There was not a single moment at which Gaia was allowed to breathe.
And how many players in this country, Scores, can you say that when they're down 2-0, that's when they go, wait, I remember how this game works, so I can play this game now?
You're like, wait a minute, I'm kind of good at this game, you know?
Yeah.
Very few players can do that, especially against Steve. Against Steve, the kind of the scourge of the Smash community at the moment, but still, if there's any time where you're fighting your demons, it's usually against Steve. But Azalea was like, you know what? I eat my demons for breakfast. Bring it on. And that's exactly what they did. When the chips are down, Azalea came through. But still, I cannot sing enough praises to Gaia. Still, an insane 2-0 lead at the start and still bringing it back to Game 5. Effectively last hit when you have Diamond in hand. Amazing setups and amazing gameplay from both players.